Hi everyone. So as we are in the Venus retrograde, I did want to talk on the wider concepts of why a feminine should look to herself to fulfill herself. Because when a woman isn't fulfilled in herself, she will go out into the world looking for a relationship to fulfill her. And this is where, ultimately relying and being not in harmony between our own masculine and feminine energy can ultimately actually steer us down the wrong path, because we as women have to realize and individualize to be fully fulfilled, and then use our feminine energy to serve our own inner masculine, to go out and to find the things that truly fulfill us. Because what I am seeing, and this is personally with myself as well, when I'm talking about this, I'm talking from my own personal experience of going out into the world and feeling this lack of sense of self, and then trying to find things outside of myself to fulfill me, and it literally leads and ends up in a dead end. And I see this more and more and more with women in the world because of our conditioning that ultimately we need a relationship to be happy. And that's so far from the truth, that a relationship, a good, healthy relationship, brings stability, and it brings a foundation, and it brings protection, and it brings providership, and it brings a sense of richness to your lives, but it shouldn't be the only thing that brings richness into your life. And when we project out our masculine into the world and project it onto men outside of us, we're actually not realizing the own potential within us that gives us a deep sense of direction, a deep sense of purpose. And with that, we just end up in this never-ending cycle of going through the same thing, because the only thing that we're truly looking for is that deep sense of self-love and self-power in ourselves. Now, I'm a person who had such a negative relationship with power, and because power means to have power, it means you must be a bad person. And so I would just project out power outwards and, put myself in situations where I would feel powerless. And that's where I've had to really look at that and really heal it. But for women, we really need to understand that our personal power and our personal inner narratives are so important to our sense of self, that we're actually seeing ourselves as we truly are and not as we've been conditioned to believe. And that comes from a deep journey of, literally getting rid of men that are in our lives, getting rid of habits that deplete us or disempower us, and really start at that core sense of self, and to really listen to our journey and to see what it's saying to us, to really listen to that inner voice, to really go, oh, okay, so when I don't listen to my voice that sits inside of me and I place something above myself, then that will end up in that situation that ultimately leaves me heartbroken, or it leaves me feeling disempowered, or it leaves me feeling empty. It's so important that what I've been focusing on is ultimately my work, my body, my mental health, making sure that I'm taking in information that helps me. So ultimately a deep, learning and going on the search for knowledge of self is most important. But also knowledge of the world, because your mind, you were born as a woman with everything that you need. You was born with everything, and same for men as well. But we were born with everything that we need, And really the only thing that's steering us away from being happy with having everything that we need is how our internalized thought processes are, how our mind is. And ultimately, the major thing is shadow work. The major thing is shadow work. And that's really looking at yourself and going, what do I judge in myself? And how could I see it in a positive way instead of shoving it in the shadow and seeing it as, cringe or ugly or, whatever ridiculous notions that we have of ourselves. We really have to take those things out of the shadow and we have to go, oh no, this is actually quite beautiful, because you're changing your relationship with yourself, with everything that you pull out of the shadow, and change your narrative with it. It is so easy to do, but you have to be able to have the courage to actually be yourself as a woman. You have to not seek validation outside of yourself. You have to learn to validate yourself. You really have to learn to validate yourself. And validating yourself is shadow work. It is this ability to go, do you know what? I had negative outcomes because of those behaviors, but it wasn't the behaviors that were the problem. It was the situation that I was in, but I've blamed myself. And listen, and this is where I get really personal. Like, when I've ever gone through a situation where the outcome hasn't been what I've wanted, I've made the outcome my fault. And then I've then aligned all the behaviors of why it was my fault, but it just wasn't meant to be. That job wasn't meant for me. That relationship wasn't meant for me. That friendship wasn't meant for me. It doesn't mean that it's my fault or there's something wrong with me. And if we are going through the world going, oh, this is wrong with me, this is wrong with me, this is wrong with me, you're just going to manifest more situations that confirm that belief, because that's all it is. It's a belief. And a lot of the time, when you change your beliefs and you have faith that you are perfect the way you are, and you say, I am beautiful, I am creative, I am loving, I am strong, I am powerful, I am vulnerable, I am courageous, like, you start to affirm a new vibration in your life, and you start to see the world from that lens once you've taken off the dirty glasses and you've put on some new ones, that you can literally go, oh, so everyone else sees me this way, but it's just me in my own way of seeing myself this way. That's the beauty of it. And ultimately, what you have to think is the divine feminine energy of this world literally is cradling you. You have to have faith that the divine mother has your back. She is here to serve and support you. And you have to be able to go and to relax into self and to come to that core belief that you will be okay regardless. The next thing is ultimately being okay with the unknown. This one was a big thing for me, to be fair. This was a huge thing for me. Being okay with the unknown. It is okay to not know what's going to happen. It is okay to be in a place where you can be open to receiving blessings, because you're literally in this core portal of the unknown. Everything happens in the unknown. And you have to get comfortable with it as a woman. Like, when we are pregnant, we don't know what child is going to be born into the world, but we know how much we are going to love that child regardless. We feel it. We have an intuition about it. Our body resonates on that vibration. Be okay with the unknown. Be okay with being single. Be okay with going, I had to let that person go, but I know something better is meant for me in the future, because your ability, and I remember I have this wonderful woman in my life, her name's Christina. I remember when she said to me, a woman's ability to say no opens up the vibration to receive something better, because she's not willing to settle for something when she has deep faith that there's something better in the future. We have to start changing our relationships with ourselves, our bodies, our emotions, our thoughts, like our literal personalities. And we have to learn to recreate not ourselves, but recreate our beliefs in ourselves, so we can come home to whoever we are and love and be powerful in that, and to walk with our heads held high, and to know that we will have strong boundaries because we have taught ourselves the true meaning of loving ourselves, so people can only ever match that vibration. That's the most important thing. And this is also like for men, this is the same for you, but I know as a woman and as having women in my life, this is something that we all need to hear. So yes, men can learn from this message too, but for us, it's this deep honoring reverence for ourselves that is going to carry us and is going to make us glide through the world with grace and with integrity and with beauty. Like, there is nothing wrong with beauty, and, you know, and because it's the same thing. I don't know whether a lot of women have felt like, oh, you know, they small themselves because they don't want to, you know, trigger the next woman next to you and things like that. Like, I see that every day with the feminine collective, and because we are carrying all these negative vibrations of negative situations that literally we need to drop, and we need to go, okay, so today, after I've dropped everything, I'm going to be my own best friend. I'm not going to let the voice within me make me believe that some reality that is not real, it's an illusion, is real. Like, I am going to see my reality as it actually is. This is the first step to the real work. When you start to go, I need to get out of my own way. I need to stop lying to myself, and I need to start actually being my best friend. I need to have my own back, because if I believe that the universe has my back, then I need to have my own back. Stop falling in love with everything outside of you and start falling in love with yourself. You have the right to be absolutely enamored and adore and admire yourself. It's your birthright. Don't give it up because you believe that it's vain, or it's, you know, it's all these negative things that they're only ever projected onto the female collective, by the way. We don't walk around going, oh, men are so vain. No, it's always women are so vain. Oh my God, she loves herself. Oh my God, this. Like, why is all the negative judgments placed upon men, and placed not upon men, upon women? And like, the thing that was projected onto men is like, oh, men are trash, men cheat, men this, men that. Like, and those are not true either. And also, changing your relationship with how you see men is massive. That's a huge, but that's for another video. But really deep it. If I'm appreciating my own beauty, if I'm appreciating my own outer beauty, my own inner beauty, my life, why is that projected on like that's a negative thing? If a woman wants to go out and, you know, create her purpose and her journey, oh, she's too masculine. She's not lovable. I can't love her because she triggers a man's sense of self. Because that's what that is. That's exactly what that is. If a woman's too masculine, then she's just going to trigger and mirror where a man feels insecure and he questions his own masculinity. because he's projecting onto her where she's more powerful, and it's not. It's just the way he sees her, which is the problem. And this is a lot of the time where we need to start seeing not the object, but the perception of the object. It's not about the object, it's about the perception of it. And that's where you find out who you are, and that's how you find out who other people are. We need to start really seeing the truth of everything and enlightening ourselves, so we can just be okay with being who we were meant to be, which is our true selves. It's simple. And like, I've been on this journey now for 3 years, like fully embodying it, and you'll have ebbs and flows. You will have situations that will throw you back into old cycles, but that old cycle is not going, and that's, I used to always go, oh my God, I haven't grown because blah, 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 I'm in that old cycle. No, I was meant to see that old cycle just to hone in on that lesson, to make sure, no, that's an old version of self, and that's an old belief system that is standing in my way. That needs to go. Literally. But you are going to have pitfalls, and like any road to success, it's not a straight line. Any road to self-love is not a straight line. Any road to healing is not a straight line. It is not linear. It is ups and downs, and you're going through death and rebirth, but that is literally what your body is made for. Every month your womb space will die and be reborn. Your hormonal levels will die and they will be reborn. This is what you're made for as a woman. You are made for literally to be reborn in the underworld and come back again a victor, having your glow up, having your regeneration into who you're truly meant to be. But that's tough, and let it be tough. Allow it to be tough. Allow that tough journey to show you how strong you are and how much you have overcome. And that's where you go, do you know what? I'm dropping the burdens, but I see how many burdens that, you know, all those burdens that you've been carrying, they all represent certain things that you've been through and that you've overcome. But they can still hold you back, so you have to drop them and take the sparkle from them, that you are powerful, you are divine, and you are literally, your ability to regenerate and come out on top is your superpower. It's your superpower. Please never forget that as a woman. Never, ever, ever forget that. The universe is trying to serve you so you can truly see yourself. And if you've been through trauma, and if you've been through, you know, abuse, or, you know, trigger warning, like sexual abuse, or you've been through, you know, being cheated on, these experiences are meant to show you your darkness, but darkness doesn't mean bad. It's meant to show you your power, because in darkness, power resides, and in light, love resides. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you all enjoyed, and let me know in the comments if another subject that you want me to talk about. But yeah, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, you know, all of that. Like, I'm going to get used to saying all these phrases because it feels alien to me. And yeah, I'm getting used to it. So thank you for anyone who's watched, anyone who's already liked, commented. Like, I literally couldn't do it without you. So see you later. Bye.